Alright, hello everybody, welcome to another segment of Deck-Celsior. This is Sam, and today we're going to be playing some Marvel Champions. I am going to be playing the Wrecking Crew on the Extreme variant, where I'm fighting both Stage 1 and Stage 2 of each villain, or the A and B forms. I'm going to be playing Protection Iron Man, and there will be a deck list in the description if you want to go look at that real quick. But yeah, I just turned on tabletop this morning to find that the Wrecking Crew are on here, so I decided I might as well record a video with them because we don't have one on the channel yet. So I hope you guys enjoy, and let's get right into it. Okay, so all the decks are shuffled. All the starting thread is there. This is going to be our activation token. It is on Wrecker at the start, because on Breakout it says place the active counter on Wrecker. So everything is set up, and we will draw our opening hand. So we have a hand size of 6, so we get to draw 6 cards to start, and that's not a bad start. 2 energy barriers is alright. They are tech, so that's always a good thing. I think I'll get rid of my Repulsor Blast, a Supersonic Punch. I'm going to keep the downtime, because downtime's not... It's pretty good later on, when I'll need it more. So draw 2 cards. Oh wow, all 3 energy barriers. That's not the best sight to see, but that's alright. Okay, so now that I have my opening hand and everything is set up, let's get right into the game. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to trigger Tony's Futurist action. So we're going to look at the top 3 cards of my deck and add one to my hand. So a common complaint I've gotten is that I play too fast, and it's hard to follow my videos, so I'm going to really try and explain what I'm doing now, just so everyone gets a feel of what's going on. There's nothing great in these top 3. And it's probably going to be a resource anyway, so I don't think it matters. So I'll just take the mansion. Though, granted, I could play the mansion. 1, 2, 3. That wouldn't be a bad choice. So let me think. Yeah, and if I get Stark Tower, I can get these back later. So I'm going to play this Avengers Mansion. I'm going to put it over here, just so I remember. And I'm going to pay with a Preemptive Strike, an Energy Barrier, a Downtime, and another Energy Barrier, so that's 4 resources. And we're going to trigger its action to choose myself as a player, and I draw a card. Okay. And then we'll spend 2 resources to play a Powered Gauntlet, which I will put here. Yeah, put it there. Okay, so that's about what I'm going to do. I'm not going to flip because I don't want a hand size of 2 next turn. So that means Wrecker's going to scheme, and I think we're alright with that. The main one we want to get through is Pilot On. That scheme we want to control. That's the big one. Okay, so now the player phase is ended. So we'll ready our cards and draw up to my hand size of 6. So let's see, what do we get? We got a Pepper Potts, which is pretty good. Rocket Boots, more tech. Endurance is fine. These allies are alright. Preemptive Strike is useless here, but that's alright. It's a resource, so I'm not worried about it. Okay, and now it goes to the villain phase. 1 threat is going to be placed on the Breakout, which actually, if you guys don't mind, I'm going to use a tracker because those are kind of hard to look at, and this is a pretty big number. So there's 1 threat on the Breakout. Once we hit 6, we lose. But hopefully we don't get to that point, considering no one schemes on the main scheme. Okay, so then we're going to have the villain activate. So when he schemes, place the threat on a side scheme instead of the main scheme, for those of you who haven't played him. So Wrecker's going to scheme for 2 plus his boost card, and I have nothing to do about it. So he's scheming for 2 with a boost of move the active counter to the villain whose side scheme has the least threat. So this active counter is going to move over to Pile Driver because he has 3 on his threat. And the scheme still resolves. So this scheme that Wrecker does for 2 still resolves. So the Day of Reckoning is going to go up to 8 threat. And we didn't hit that 10 threshold, so that ability won't trigger. And now we're going to go to get our encounter cards. But since he's no longer the active villain and Pile Driver is, we get his encounter card from his deck. So we get our encounter card, and we reveal an Escaped Convict, which is just a 1/1 with 2 hit points and Surge. Most of his techs come in as a boost. So we're going to Surge, and we get Buddy System. Choose a villain whose side scheme has the least threat. Reveal the top card of his deck. Top 2 cards if he's the only villain in play. He's not the only villain in play, so that basically just surges, because he is also still the lowest threat. And Distracting Taunts. Pile Driver gets plus 3 hit points, and after your attacks, Pile Driver can spend 2 physical to discard this card. And I can't attack any other villains. That's the big important part of that card. So we're going to put it right here. And he gets plus 3 hit points. So yeah, he goes up to 14 hit points. Right, so the first villain phase is over, and overall, that wasn't the best for me, but it also wasn't the worst that could go. But a lot did happen. Now we're going to use our Futurist ability, and I'm going to trigger that before the mansion. There's no real benefit to doing either or, it's just I typically do this one first. Okay, and I will just take this preemptive strike, because none of those cards really are what I need, and then use the Avenger's Mansion to draw a card. Okay. I will spend 1, 2, 3 for Pepper Potts. I'm just going to go over here as well. And we're going to exhaust her to generate the resource of the top card of my discard pile, which is an energy, to play these Rocket Boots, which give me a hit point, and I can exhaust them and spend a mental to gain aerial, which I inevitably might end up doing, so I can kill this thing if I decide to flip. If I decide to flip, I have a 3-card hand size, but then Pile Driver will attack me, and he's not going to get, I don't think he can get up to 10. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to raise the threat on each of them by 1. That was my mistake. So each of these should be 1 higher. So, yeah. That was a mistake. There's a lot of moving parts. Okay. Let's see. He'll go up to 5. He would have to get a 3 boost or a 2 boost on him for that to go off, and then I lose my mansion, which I really don't want to lose my mansion. So I think that what I'm going to have to do here is flip, toss War Machine to the boots to give myself the aerial trait. I will trigger the Powered Gauntlets to deal 2 damage to an enemy because I have the aerial trait, and I'll deal it to this Escape Convict. Now this stops me from attacking other villains, not other enemies, so I can still attack minions. So, and then I will thwart for 2 off of the Day of Reckoning because he's no longer scheming on me, and that way that won't go off either. So we're going to ready. I'm going to discard both cards in my hand and draw 3. Now this could go very badly from here, But actually, that's not a bad draw. Right, the main scheme is going to go up by 1, and each side scheme is also going to go up by 1. So the Day of Reckoning is at 8, Thunderstruck is at 7, Clear the Road is going to go to 5, and Pilot On also goes to 5. No, Clear the Road should be at 6. It starts at 4, went up by 1 last turn to go to 5. Yeah, it's at 6. Okay, just making sure. I want to make sure I'm not making mistakes. Okay. Okay. The active counter actually moves to the villain with the highest threat. So it's going to move to Wrecker. So Wrecker is attacking me now. And Wrecker is going to hit me for 2. Plus, if it's undefended, he gets extra 2 attack, which I don't want to defend because I'm going to end up recovering anyway. So he's attacking for 1, 2, 3, plus his extra 2, so 5. And then I get an encounter card. Right. I've been waiting for this. The active villain heals 3 hit points, giving that villain a tough. Well, he's already at max hit points. So, all he's going to get from that is the tough. Which is not nothing. And now it's my turn. Okay. Right, we're going to pause one real quick second. Sorry, my computer was sending me notifications, and I had to deal with that real quick. Okay, so where were we? We are now at the player phase. That's right. I'm going to use Pepper Pots to gain the aerial trait. And we'll use the Powered Gauntlets against Pile Driver. I take a Retaliate for it because I can't use it on anyone else. But luckily, I have a Mark 5 armor. I forgot to exhaust that for the aerial trait, but that's fine. And I get plus 6 hit points. So now my max is 16. Right. I will thwart off of... Of Pilot On. Yeah. I'm going to thwart off Pilot On because I'm pretty sure his threat is going to go through anyway, and I don't really mind. And then next turn I'm going to end up recovering. Alright, we're going to use our Futurist action to look at the top 3 cards. Oh boy. I'll take the Arc Reactor. Hopefully get my Stark Tower soon. Ready up and drop to my hand size of 6. I drew one too many cards. Which sucks because that was a card I wanted. Alright, so that is going to go up by 1 on everything. Putting that at 9, putting this one at 8, putting this one at 7, and putting this one at 4. So the Day of Reckoning isn't actually at 9 yet, but it's about to be. We're going to get a boost card because he's going to scheme, and he is scheming for... It's not an attack. And he's scheming for 2. So we're going to move... So when we hit 10, we're going to remove all but 3 threat from the scheme. That's at the very bottom, but... And then deal 2 damage to each friendly character. So that's just Iron Man. And then we remove all but 3 threat there. So now this one is at the least. And this didn't move because his was at the highest. And we get an encounter card. which is Wrecker's Command. Wrecker's Command is a attached wrecker, gets +1 scheme with a forced response. After he schemes, place 1 threat on each other villain's side scheme. Spend 2 physical to get rid of this card, to discard it. Which, that's going to be a little brutal, but I don't really want to worry about it right now. This helmet's going to be so good if I can go aerial this turn, which at the moment doesn't look like I can. I'm going to use my Futurist ability to look at the top 3 cards of my deck. I'll take Start Tower. Pay 2 for Start Tower. Exhaust Pepper Pots for 2 resources to play the Arc Reactor. Use Start Tower to grab the topmost, which is a Gauntlet. I'll pay for the Gauntlets, and then I'll pay 1 for this helmet. Right, so I'm almost fully decked out. I'm missing a pair of boots, but at this point my hand size is 7 in hero form. I'm going to recover for 3, flip into Iron Man, and this is where the fun begins. Ready my hero. And okay, I can still only attack Pile Driver, so I'm not sure if it's that worth it yet. Who's going to be the main villain? Thunderball is going to be the main villain, which I'm actually perfectly okay with. He's only going to do an extra damage to me, which isn't that big of a deal. So we'll remove a threat from Clear the Road. And we'll thwart 2 off of... Yeah, we'll thwart 2 more off and Clear the Road. Why not? Okay, and I can do 2 to Pile Driver. But I will take the Retaliate from that, which kind of sucks, but I think I'm going to anyway. Yeah, I should be fine. And that's my turn, so I'm going to ready all my cards. Draw up to my hand size of 7 now, because I have 1, 2... I have my hand size of 1, plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because Tony reads, you get +1 hand size for each tech upgrade to a max hand size of 7. So I go up to 7. So I draw 7 cards, but my deck emptied. And now, because this hasn't happened yet, the active villain is still Wrecker. So we're going to get our encounter deck card from there. And then we'll reshuffle and draw the rest of our cards. Which Nick Fury is not a bad card to see here. And we draw 3 more. Nice. Preemptive Strike is actually a pretty solid choice. These should be ready. Okay, so now we're going to place threat. So 1 threat goes on here. We got to start removing some threat from there because we don't want to lose to that. That would be embarrassing. Thunderstruck is at 9, so maybe I could have thwarted there, but if it bites me, it does. But I'm not too worried about it because I have plenty of ways to get rid of stunned. Alright, so just a quick rundown. Day of Reckoning is at 4. Thunderstruck is at 9. Clear the Road is at 5, and Pile It On is also at 5. And the only one we've damaged so far is Pile Driver. He's taken 5 damage in total because of this gave him hit points. So now this is going to move to there because he has the highest. So Thunderball is active villain, and he is going to attack us. We won't declare a defender. So Thunderball's attacking for 1 plus a boost of 3. If you can't see it there, it's now up close. So we're going to spend a Supersonic Punch to play Preemptive Strike, which means we're gonna cancel these boost cards and deal it, and then deal 1 damage to the villain for each boost icon canceled. So 3 boost icons were canceled, so we do 3 to the villain. This is now discarded, and we only take 1 damage from the attack, and then Thunderball's ability After he attacks you, deal 1 damage to each character you control. I only control 1 character, so that's not that big of a deal. But that's just something it was a really good, opportune preemptive strike. That's one of a. It's like pseudo healing that deals damage. That card's really good. I really love that card. It's just not the most reliable. Okay. So we're dealt encounter cards. We randomize them before we reveal them because technically I knew which was from which deck, and they're supposed to be random according to the rules. Our first card is a Lightning Blast. Thunderball attacks you. If this attack is undefended, place 3 threat on Thunderball's scheme. I don't necessarily mind getting stunned. It's a question of damage, though. Is my 1 defense really going to really help that much? I doubt it. So we're going to take this undefended, and we're just going to let the scheme go on. And so he's attacking for 3, so I take 3. Which is why that downtime is really important. And then we resolve. This should go in the discard pile first. Then we resolve this and put 3 threat on his scheme, which it's going to go over 10, so I'm not going to put it on there yet. And after threat is placed to you, if there's 10 or more, stun each friendly character, remove all but 3 threat from the scheme. So I'm going to get stunned, and there's only going to be 3 threat on the scheme. Man, the Wrecking Crew are really hurting. Right, so we're now going to reveal our card, and it is Your Dead Meat. Deal 1 damage to the hero or ally with the fewest remaining hit points. If that character is defeated, display, place 3 threat on Wrecker's side scheme. That's kind of annoying if I was playing leadership, but since I'm not, I just take a damage, and although that's not the nicest thing right now. Okay. Let's continue. We revealed our encounter cards, so now it is my turn. We're going to use a Powered Gauntlet to knock off that stunned card. Alright. Let's see, how do we want to do this? Okay. We use we're gonna pay 1, 2, 3, 4 for Nick Fury, and we're gonna draw 3 cards from his ability. Okay, it's not terrible. It's not the best thing ever, but it's not terrible. Do I feel like getting retaliated on for playing a Haymaker? Is it worth it? Because honestly, not. I still have my Futurist. I still have Futurist. But I really want to use her ability. So I'm going to use her for the 2, and I'm going to Haymaker. And take the Retaliate. Because why not at this point? I'll play this downtime because that's important to me. And I'll discard to go Aerial. Which is important for a couple reasons. First of all, the gauntlets get a little better. There's a hard chance that we just get rid of that, so there might be I wonder something. Okay, no, that's a defense. Alright, so we played that right. I was worried that the what's it called? The preemptive strike was an attack. Then we probably couldn't. I don't think we could have used it, but it's a defense. Okay, so we're probably not going to be able to get rid of that. Which, at this point, whatever. So we're going to use our Power Gauntlets. Deal 2 to him. We're going to use Nick Fury. Deal 2 more to him. Nick Fury's going to take an extra damage. We're going to use our helmet. And since we're aerial, the helmet reads, Remove one threat from a scheme from each scheme if you have aerial. So that's 1, 2, 3. Oh my god. 4, 5 threat removed. For 1 cost card, that's pretty good. And now Iron Man is going to thwart for 2 off of the main scheme. Now the reason why I do it off the main scheme is because he's going to be the I'm going to choose him to be the active villain. And if we get a card that says the villain with the least scheme thwarts, that'll be him. If we get a card that says the with the highest threat on the scheme does something, that'll be I get to choose between the two, so I'm not really worried about it. And the record's just over here in the middle. So, and I'd rather not have to worry about that for a while. We're going to trigger our arc reactor to ready, but we're not going to thwart again. This time we're going to flip and exhaust to recover. So normally we have a recover of 3, but with downtime we have a recover of 5. So we're going to go from 1 to 7. Then we're going to use this to get back those boots. Add that to my hand. And then we're going to flip that over. I thought of a better way to do the futures. We're going to do the futures. Let's look at the top 3. It doesn't matter which one we take. And then we're going to spend 1 for the boots. Oh god. Which gives us a hit point. And that's our turn. So this video will probably be broken up into a couple parts because this is going to be a long one, I think. And I'm alright with that. I'm trying to play a bit more. I'm trying to explain a bit more about what I'm doing. Okay, we're going to draw 6 cards, which is actually less than what we would draw in hero mode, but I needed to recover. Of course, I draw all my energy when I have a Repulsor Blast in hand. Okay, 1 threat goes on the main scheme, other way, and we're going to put a threat on each side scheme. So that's going to go there, that's going to go there. We'll put a 3 threat here. So we have a 5, 5, 3, and 4. So we're going to put this one on Bulldozers, and he's going to scheme. So Bulldozer is going to scheme for 1 plus a boost. And so I won't play my emergency because I don't really need to play an emergency here. I guess I could. I mean, what am I really going to spend it on? A haymaker? But am I worried about it? Not really. Alright, so he's scheming for 3 in total. 1 plus 2 boosts. So he's at 7. Which is fine. We're going to get our encounter card. And it is Escaped Convict, which is that Surge 112. So that's going to surge, so we're going to move him over here because he's engaged with me. And that surges into a Held Hostage. Where was I? Okay. Held Hostage. Attached to active villain side scheme, threat cannot be removed from attached scheme by thwarting. The villain corresponding to the attached side scheme attacks you, then discard this card. That's a hero action. So I can have Bulldozer attack me with Overkill to get rid of that. Am I going to? Probably not. For a little while. I mean, now would be the best time to do it, but I'll probably end up doing it. It's fine. Alright, Nick Fury, as much as I love you, you're going away. Okay. We're going to use our action, or futurist action, and we will take the Genius It's a really easy way to take care of that. You know, we're going to pull back that energy barrier, and we're going to play it. Energy barrier is going to get 3 tokens on it. Okay, we're going to recover for another 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Our max hit points is 17 at the moment. 9 here, plus 2 is 11, plus 6 is 17. And in all honesty, we're going to make it so we get plus 3 hit points from endurance. So our max is 20, and we're at 16. I think we're doing pretty good. We're going to flip to hero form and use my arc reactor to ready Iron Man. I'm going to trigger held hostage. And I'm going to do that because I have preemptive strike and I have my energy barrier. I think I'll be fine to take a couple damage. I think now's the best time to do it of all. So he's going to attack me. He gets a boost, and we're not defending. Alright, so he's attacking for 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I could cancel the boost icon. And if I don't, I'm just going to play Haymaker. So I'm not really sure if it's worth canceling the boost or not. I mean, it's 1. I'd get more damage out of Haymaker. So I'm not going to cancel the damage. So I'll take 3. And since I'm the target of attack, also, this doesn't have the defense on it, I can use my energy barriers, remove 2, and deal a damage where I wish. I'm going to use it to knock off this tough, because it's not an attack, so I can get rid of that without dealing with that. I'm going to use both my gauntlets to defeat this one. Where did he come from? Which deck is he from? That's the most complicated. Bulldozer. But that's gone too. Okay. Then I'm going to spend 2 for a Haymaker. Dealing 3 to Pile Driver, and I take 1 and retaliate. Stage 1 of Pile Driver is defeated. So we're going to have our pile of dead Wrecking Crew villains over there. I want to see how many we can take out before the game ends. Okay, so now Pile Driver gets +1 attack. He still has to retaliate. He still has the wind schemes on the side scheme thing, and now he goes to 14 hit points. So that's alright. Now we're going to use Pepper Potts to play Repulsor Blast on Pile Driver. So we deal 1 damage and discard the top 5 cards of our deck. So they're going to be discarded, but I'm going to just put them into my hand right now. That way I can count the energy easily. Alright, so that's 5 cards. And we hit 4 energy icons, as you can see. So we're going to deal 2 for each energy icon. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 damage. That goes to my discard pile, because those were discarded. And I take Retaliate from that. And then this now goes into my discard pile. Timing is everything in something like this. Also, both times I took those Retaliate, instead I'm just going to use my energy barriers and do the 2 damage back. Because, and the reason why that is because energy barrier, now with the new FAQ, or not FAQ, I guess the updated rules reference, it says a defense, a thing with parentheses defense, can only be used when you're the target of attack. Energy barrier does not have that parentheses defense. It just says when you would take any amount of damage, remove a counter from here to prevent 1 damage. And since retaliate is a form of damage, I can use this. So I'm going to. And since that's also not an attack in its own right, I also don't take retaliate for those. So I basically countered 2 of his retaliate and dealt 2 damage. So next turn, he's going down. I just want him out of here. And the reason, if you want to know why I targeted him so quickly, is because his side scheme is, if there's 10 threat on there, each player discards the upgraded support they control with the highest cost. Remove all but 3 threat from the side scheme, which is pretty bad for me. I mean, you already saw that my Avengers Mansion was kicked out of here. So it's really just a matter of what I want to see and what I don't want to see. Right now, Thunderstruck is still the lowest threat scheme, so I'm not super worried about anything that happens with that. I'm just really deciding now where I want to thwart with Iron Man, because that's what I'm going to do with him. If I thwart the 3 off of here, then Pile Driver will be on here. If I thwart 2 off of here, and then we tied, and I basically get to choose between the 2, and then I can remove one from Day of Reckoning and then choose between those 2 for lowest. So I think that's what I'm going to end up doing, because having that control over and really what's supposed to be uncontrollable group is something that gives you a big advantage. Even if, yeah, they're still hitting you and they're still activating against you, but you get to really choose who to fight. It's like, for example, now I might let Pile Driver be the active villain so he can hit me, because he has less attack than Bulldozer. But granted, I also have more recover now, so I'm not super worried about it. So it's a balance. Okay. All ready in my cards, because now my turn is over. I'm going to draw 7 cards. My deck is empty, and Bulldozer is still the active villain, so I'll get an encounter card for him. And then we'll draw the rest of my cards now. Alright, sweet. The energy barrier. There's a good draw here. So I'll draw 2 more. 2 energy barriers. Not bad. I play both of them with Pepper Pots and the same energy card. So that's always a solid sign. Okay. 1 thread is going to go on this main scheme, and then 1 thread on each of the side schemes. So like I said, I have essentially purely controlled that I can choose between the highest and I can choose between the lowest, which is something that really makes this scenario a tad bit easier. Granted, this is one of my favorite scenarios because it's so unique. I don't think it's the hardest scenario, but I do enjoy this one a lot. This one's a lot of fun for me to play. Alright, so what's going to happen here? We get to decide where this goes, and I think I'm going to go with Pile Driver, because if I take that hit, the worst thing that goes is Pepper Pots. And while Pepper Pots is a really nice card to have, I'm in a position where I have 7 card hand size, and I'm not as worried about it if he ends up having to scheme or something. And also, Bulldozer hits a little harder, so I think I feel safer with Pile Driver attacking me. And he's going to attack, and we get a boost card. It's undefended, and he's attacking for 2, plus a boost of I'm Confused. We laugh in the face of confused and stunned tokens, because I have so many ways to get around them. Okay, now that that's over, we get our encounter card. We'll shuffle these up so we don't know which is which. And reveal our first one. Bull Rush. Bulldozer attacks you. Discard the top card of your deck for each damage dealt by this attack. Oh, I should take the damage from his attack. Alright, Bulldozer attacking for 3. No defenders again. And he's attacking for 3 plus 1. So I take 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And on our second card, this one's from Pile Driver's deck. I can figure that out. Pile Driver attacks you. If he's tough, he gets plus 2 attack for his activation. He's not tough, so he's not going to get the attack. We're not going to defend again, and we're going to have to flip. Give the villain a tough status card. If they already have a tough status card, place 2 threat on their scheme. Okay, so now this brings me a question. I'm going to assume he doesn't get the attack, because this would have already resolved. This would have already checked if he's tough before this came out. So we're gonna play it as if he doesn't, and if I'm wrong, please correct me. Here, I'll see what I'll do. I'm going to have a modified damage counter that revolves around if he had the extra 2 attack. If he had the extra 2 I think it was 2, right? Yeah, it was 2. If he had the extra 2 attack, then this will be my health. I'm just going to keep track of that just so in case I am wrong, we can ask this as a win or a loss still. Because I don't want to take any chances with that kind of thing. Alright. This is already being a very long game, and we haven't even killed one villain entirely, but we're about to. Because now it's my turn. And I don't know about you, but now I'm angry. He made me angry. Even though I'm not the Hulk, but I still love the Hulk as a character. So I get to be angry too. I'm Iron Man. Alright, I'm going to... So I paid for an energy barrier and then I used pepper pots to get another energy barrier down, which you're about to see why. I'll use a powered gauntlet to get rid of this tough. He's going to retaliate against me, but I'm going to use this gauntlet to deal a damage to Wrecker. Wrecker seems like an appropriate villain to target. Now I'm going to pay 1 for Ariel. That's important. I'm going to pay 2. I'm going to play Haymaker. Yeah, Haymaker. So because he's defeated, his retaliate doesn't go off, which kind of sucks because I do have my energy barriers, but I'm not super worried about it. And he's going to go to the killed pile. And his deck is now removed. He is gone. And now I think I get to put this active counter anywhere. Not that it really matters. I'm going to move this over now. Just because it'll make things easier for me. Alright, I'm going to put it on Thunderball. Why not? Alright, so right now, Bulldozer's going to be the main villain, and I don't care. Like... that doesn't worry about me at all. Powered Gauntlets are going to deal 2 to Wrecker. And my helmet is going to remove a threat from every single scheme. Which, you know, kind of feels really good. That's really, really good. No it won't. I'm going to thwart first. Because I'm confused. I would have thwarted first because I'd rather get that out. And you'll see why in a second. I mean, Bulldozer is probably going to still be the main villain because I do kind of want to recover here. But because I have my energy barriers, I'm not that worried about it. I do want to recover. I think I'd rather recover. So I'll flip. I'll recover. Should be at 1 lower, I think. Yeah. Because I remove 1 from each scheme. So I'm recovering for 5. So this, if I was right with that ruling, it puts me at 10. If not, it puts me at 8. So that's 4. I just want to make sure this is a good win. Because I've made a video that I might take down on the channel that I made more than a couple mistakes, and I was disappointed in myself for it. So. And I was playing a Protection Iron Man deck too. I don't want to make those mistakes again. Alright, I will use my Futurist ability. Look at the top 3 cards of my deck. I'm going to keep the Supersonic Punch. And remember, I'm not drawing the cards. I'm just looking. But it's easier to do that, to put them in my hand, as if I were to look like that, just because it's easier on tabletop. Tabletop doesn't have a look at the top X function at the moment like Octagon does. So that's all it is. I know I'm not drawing the cards. Alright, so I'm all ready. Draw 5 cards. Oh boy, we have a really solid turn coming up for us. Alright, 1 threat's going to be placed on each scheme. Now, it looks like Thunderball is not the active villain anymore, and Bulldozer is the active villain. So Bulldozer's going to scheme, and he's scheming for 1, plus 3, so 4. He schemes for 4, which is exactly 10, which means we're going to, it's the same, remove all but 3, but this time we discard 10 cards from my deck, which is kind of bad, actually, now that I think about it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Less bad. But that means I won't get a full repulsor blast, which is what I'm worried about. I mean, 4 cards is still 4 cards. That's not bad. That's just not ideal. Alright, our encounter card is leading the charge. Discard the top X cards of your deck, where X is Bulldozer attack. So I'm discarding the top 3 cards of my deck. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to place 2 threat on this side scheme for each different card type, because I only saw events and an ally. But that's his turn. So, it's my turn. And I won't be as forgiving as last time. We're going to thwart. Or not thwart. What am I saying? We're going to recover. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I'm sorry if this bugs you. I want to make sure this is a clean win, you know? Gotta respect that. Clean win. Alright, I'm going to use features. Since there's only 1 card in my deck anyway, I'm just going to add it to my hand. Because that's... But the deck doesn't reshuffle until after I look at the cards. Because technically the cards are still part of my deck, and that's the card I just chose. And Bulldozer's active, so we get a card from his deck. Which is actually, I'm really glad he got that card now, because now I can play my Repulsor Blasts. Right, I'll flip already with the Arc Reactor. Right. I will discard an emergency to play Repulsor Blast. We're going to target Wrecker. So we're going to do 1 damage and discard 5 cards from my deck. We're just going to do this the same way as I did it last time. 5 cards. Only 2 energy. Only 2 energy that time. So we deal 4 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4. Which is fine. And, you know, that's not bad. We're going to use Pepper Potts to play our second Repulsor Blast. And I think I'm going to target Thunderball this time, because while I easily could, I need to hit 3 energy to defeat him, but like at the same time I can easily take him out other ways. So I'm going to target Thunderball. 5 cards from my deck. 1, 2, 3. Which would have been exactly enough to take out Wrecker. But if in case we drew more, that would have been bad. So that puts Thunderball at 3. Alright, flip that back over. I have a couple options here. Play Mockingbird. That's always a good choice. I could also play Supersonic Punch. Not a bad choice either, but only 4 damage. I'd rather save it for next turn. So it's really between Mockingbird and Haymaker. Haymaker means I defeat a villain, but I'm not super worried about that. So we're going to pay for a Mockingbird, who's We're gonna put you up. Oh, I really don't have any room for her, do I? Right, the Stark Tower, you're kind of doing nothing at the moment. So we're gonna move you over here. I'm gonna move you over here. Our pots are gonna move down there. Alright. So we're gonna stun an enemy. And who do we want to be the active villain this turn? I think I want Thunderball to be active. I can get him there too. Quite easily, actually. As easy as doing this. Remove a threat. Work for 2. Now I get the choice, which is exactly what I wanted to get the choice. Alright. 1, 2. There's a reason why I removed 1 threat from here. It was because of this. So 1 damage, 2 damage, and 3 damage with Mockingbird. Defeats stage 1 Thunderball. So he's added to the dead villain pile. And he goes up to 16 hit points. Alright, this is where I'm going to pause. And this is probably where we're going to pause in our state. Because this is probably going to be a multiple part video. Because this one's a very long one. A very, very long one so far. And I'm going to pause here. So I can get some water. And because it's getting hard to talk. So, thank you for watching. And join me for the next part of the Wrecking Crew Extreme Mode versus Protection Iron Man. I really hope you're enjoying so far. I really hope you watch the second part. Because this game is looking to be pretty good. Okay, so we just finished the player phase, and now we're going to go to the refresh of the player phase, I guess. I'm going to ready my cards. We have a very packed board state. I'm going to keep this card in hand and draw 6 cards. Not bad. Not bad at all. I wish I had, some mental icons to make this better, but I'm not overly worried about it. 1 threat goes here, 1 threat goes here, 1 threat goes here, and 1 threat goes here. They're all at 5, so I'm going to let Thunderball be active. Thunderball's going to attack, but he's stunned, so we get an encounter card. Alright, so we have 2 encounter cards this turn. Probably because I decked myself last turn. Sorry, I took a little break, so I have to remember. Right, so randomize the encounter cards and radioactive buildup. He gets +3 attack. Excess damage is placed as threat on his side scheme. And after he attacks, discard this card. So it's basically like charge, except instead of overkill, it's just goes on the side scheme instead. Get wrecked. I love the names of these cards. The villain whose side scheme has the least threat attacks you. So now I get to choose, which is the beauty of this. I get to choose between Bulldozer and the Wrecker. If I choose the Wrecker, he's going to be attacking me for 3. If I choose the Bulldozer, he's going to be attacking me for... Or Wrecker's going to be attacking me for 4 because I'm not going to defend. I don't want to defend. He's going to be attacking me for 3. So I'd rather get the attack of 3. And since I'm not defending, we've clarified I'm not defending. And so he's attacking for 3 plus nothing. So here's where the fun comes. We're going to spend 2 energy barriers. So I only take 1 damage. But I get to deal 2 damage anywhere I want. I'm just going to put that on record. Let the record show that I put it on record. That was a bad pun. Those are my encounter cards. So now it's my turn. And we have a turn set out for us, don't we? Energy barrier is going to get played. The third one is going to get played. What's damage at this point? This is where I'm in pure Iron Man form. I'm just super powerful and everything's going right for me. Pepper pots plus. Oh, that's a good question. The real question here is do I want to play Luke Cage or not? Do I need to? Not really, no. Supersonic Punch with Pepper Potts. 4 to Wrecker. Wrecker goes to the dead pile. And Wrecker B has 18 hit points. Alright. And guess what we're going to play? We're going to play a Haymaker. This is the most I've ever played this card. But at this point, why not? Both powered gauntlets are going to go. Oh my god. Okay. We're going to go to the Wrecker. It's for 2 damage. Mockingbird is going to go. It's the record for damage. I'm going to thwart for 2. Off of. Thunderball Scheme, because I don't really need him to be the active villain anymore. Who do I want active? Well, now I get a choice. I'm going to just remove the threat from there instead. And then I will punch Wrecker for 1. And I'm done. I'm going to ready up. I'm going to draw some cards. I'm going to get a counter card though. And I'm going to draw 2 more cards. And the reason why I kept that is because I can play it. I mean, I'm going to get attacked, so there's no point not to, you know? Alright, one that's going to move here, and the other 2 are going to get 3. They're going to be at 6 start each. And we're going to let Bulldozer activate against me. We're going to defend with Mockingbird. And he gets a boost. And his boost is, if this is undefended, it's not undefended. So he has no boost. So he's attacking for 2. Or for 3. And he gets overkill. So now I couldn't play my Preemptive Strike, but that's honestly not a bad thing. So overkill, so he's going to do 2 damage to me. But in reality, he's not going to do any damage to me. I'm going to do 2 to Wrecker. Energy Barrier is a really good card. If you couldn't figure that out, that's a really, really good card. Alright, we're going to get 2 encounter cards, shuffle them up. First one is, I've been waiting for this. Active villain heals 3 hit points. Give that villain a tough status card. He's at max health, I believe. Let me just check that real quick. He is at max health, so he doesn't heal, but he gets a tough. Doesn't matter. Ramming speed. Okay. After he attacks, you discard this card. That's fine. Am I to worry about that? Not really, no. Alright, it's my turn. Let's discard a mansion to gain the aerial trait. And then let's play a repulsor blast. We're going to target Wrecker. Wrecker takes the damage. And again, we're going to discard the top 5. So, to easily count. 1, 2, 3. We got 3 energy icons for 6 damage. Okay. We're going to use my power gauntlets for 2 damage. We're going to knock out the Wrecker. The Wrecker's defeated, which means his scheme and stuff is gone, and I no longer have to worry about him. Because he means nothing to me now. That gives me more room. Oh boy, this game is getting interesting. I'll tell you that. No, I think the obvious goal is to just take out one of them, is focus on one of them now. So we're going to focus on him because he's already at stage 2. Discard a card to play a Preemptive Strike. Not a Preemptive Strike, I'm sorry. A Repulsor Blast. 5 cards are discarded from my deck. 3 have the icon, so we do 1 for the initial, and then we do 6 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll use my powered gauntlets to deal 2 more. We'll play a first aid on myself, because why not? Who's going to be the active villain? Let's have it be Thunderball. So we're going to thwart for 2. We're going to use the helmet to thwart for 1, and again we get the choice now. And then let's attack Thunderball for 1. Now this game, we're going to keep the preemptive strike again, because at this point, damage is damage no matter where it comes from. Actually, let me look at my discard pile real quick. Yeah, both are in the discard pile, and at this point, damage is damage, and I'm going to take however I can get it. So I draw 6 cards, and that's a lot of damage. That is a lot of damage. 1 threat goes here, 1 threat goes here, 1 threat goes here. We're at... I guess the helmet removes threat from every scheme, so they should be at 1 less each. Small oversight, but whatever. Where did I remove that 1 threat from? I think I removed it from here. So technically, this one should be at even 1 more. No, this one should be 1 less. This one should be 1 more. This one should be 1. I'm not going to think about it, actually. It's too hard to think about. So that one's 1 extra, whatever. I'm not worried about it. And that means he's going to activate, which was an oversight on my part. I should have used that first. Okay. That's frustrating. That's fine. He's attacking for 5. I'm not defending. Which means my preemptive strike is just going to get rid of tough if I use it, which I'm not even going to use it at this point. Headbutt. He's attacking for 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6. And one of those pings off tough, and the other 2 go wherever I want them to. These 2 are gone. And now we get an encounter card. And ours is Buddy System. Choose a villain whose side scheme has the least threat. Reveal the top card of his deck. Held hostage. Can't remove. Threat can't be removed from attached scheme. It goes on the active villain. He is the active villain. Alright. Also, this is discarded because, yeah. Yeah, I didn't have an ally I controlled, so I couldn't have defended against this attack. Okay. It's my turn. Oh, we're about to bring you pain. Oh, yeah, we are. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nick Fury. Draw 3 cards. Discard a card. Become Ariel. And 1, 2 is 4 damage. Say goodbye to Thunderstruck. Or Thunderbolt and Thunderstruck. Alright, this is all that's left. We just have to kill this dude. That seems easy enough. We're Ariel, so, you know, we're going to use Pepper Potts and an emergency to play Supersonic Punch. For 8. We'll spend 2 and we'll play Haymaker for 3. We'll attack for 1. He's at 15 hit points. Alright. I can't remove threat from his scheme, so I can remove threat from here, and then I'll just attack him again for 1. The Nick Fury attacks for 2, obviously. And all is well. I will finally discard this card because it hasn't given me any use in the last 2 turns, and I might just regret that. Okay, his deck is empty and I didn't even notice. But that's alright because that doesn't really do anything except put a blue strike on here. Our acceleration token there, which is fine. Alright, we ready up and we will go to the villain phase. We'll draw our hand first, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. The threat goes up by 2. And his only goes up by 1. And he's attacking me for 3. I'll defend with Nick Fury. He's attacking for 6, of course, as soon as I get rid of the, what's it called? So Nick Fury takes 2, and then I'm going to take 4, but I'm only going to take 3 because I have an energy barrier. Energy barrier absorbs 1 for me, and sends it right back his way. I get an encounter card. Shuffle him up. Leading the charge. Discard the top X cards of my deck where X is my attack. So 1, 2, or 1 of his attack. 1, 2, 3. And I have a support and 2 events. Where did that go? So that's 2 threat on his scheme, which puts him at 8. Held hostage. Alright, yeah, we're definitely not ever removing threat from his thing, and now it's my turn. Discard for Ariel. Pay 2 for an energy barrier. Pay 2, 3 for a Mockingbird. Play a first aid on myself. Attack for 1, 2, 3, 4. The threat here. Attack for 1. Attack for 2. Attack for 3. Oh, and I guess Mockingbird will stun him because why not? And my turn has ended. And now we get our 7 cards. Oh yeah, he's dead. He's so dead. This goes up by 2. This goes up by 1. It's at 9. He is stunned, so nothing. No, that doesn't happen. He doesn't attack me. We get an encounter card, and it's discard the top X cards of my deck where X is Bulldozer attack, which is 3. So 1, 2, 3. 2 events and 1 support. Okay. So I get an encounter card, and my deck reshuffles. Right. Then we're going to remove all but 3 threat here and discard the top 10 cards of my deck. Because that hit over 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Fair. And we have another encounter card we have to deal with first before we can kick his butt. Ramming speed. That's fine with me. Now, Bulldozer, how would you like to die? We're going to gain the aerial trait. We're going to repulsor blast. No, that's not the way to do it. We're going to attack for 1. And we're going to play Haymaker. And Bulldozer goes to the dead villain pile. And all his cards are, and he is defeated. And that means we have won. We have beat the Wrecking Crew. And I know this was a very long game, and this got considerably easier at the end. As soon as I took out a couple of them, game got very much easier. That wasn't grammatically correct. I'm sorry. It got a lot easier, very much. That was bad. I'm sorry. Long game, very long game. Wrecking Crew, I know it gets easier towards the end, and a lot of people might not like that, but I really do. It's really thematic. I mean, you have a team of villains who are working together. If you take one down, that's one that you've just taken out a fourth of their team. To me, it thematically makes sense, and I think it's a fairly fun scenario. Do I think it's the hardest? No. Okay, was I really close to dying there at points? Yeah, I was. So that's my thoughts on the Wrecking Crew. I really like them. I think it's a really fun scenario, and if people don't like that I'm playing easier scenarios or whatever, I'm sorry, but they're some of my favorites because they're fun. Oh god. Okay, never mind. Ignore that. As for my deck, I just want to appreciate all this. And like this stuff, normal Iron Man, and then you have this extra stuff here. But the Protection Iron Man deck is really good and really fun. The energy barriers are so powerful. They're my favorite card in the game right now. Well, favorite non-hero card in the game right now. Because they just do everything you need them to do. I love them. Downtime, I think, was a must. I really do. Endurance, a great card as well. I mean, there's a pack full of energy in here. So even though I didn't go with Aerial as much as I wanted to, my Repulsor Blast were consistently hitting good numbers. And as for this part, yeah, I was unsure how that would work. So just to go down again, we're just going to explain this real quick, just so we understand everything that's going on. So let me. Oh, that has less cards in it. It means there's some cards somewhere else, but that's fine. Pummel and Escape Plan. Oh, this means this one has extra, and this one has less. Okay. Alright, so Pummel reads, Pile Driver attacks you. If Pile Driver's tough, he gets +2 attack. Right? And the Escape Plan says, give the active villain a tough status card. If they already have a tough status card, place 2 threat on their scheme. So, Pile Driver got the tough from this boost. Now, what I was unsure about is if that gave him the +2 attack. And my guess is no, it doesn't, because that already checked for it, but I could be wrong. So just to recap, that's what these were for. This is my hit points, assuming my thoughts were correct, that he already would have checked for the +2 attack, so giving him a boost during the activation shouldn't change his attack. And this was if I was wrong. That's why that's there. It's just so we know that if I was wrong, it doesn't change the outcome of the game. I still would have won with a solid number of hit, about half my health. It's alright. Just wanted to be honest to the viewers. So I'm sorry if this was a long game. I really did try to play a little slower and explain what I was doing. That did lead to some mistakes at the beginning that I did catch myself on, because I felt like I was talking so much, and I felt like I was focusing more on the show rather than the game, and that caused some mistakes. So if there's any other mistakes, feel free to point them out, but yeah, I think I caught most of them. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Like, everyone who watches videos, it means so much that you guys watch these and you listen to us. Thank you. I love the feedback. I love everything. I really love making these videos, and I really hope to continue doing these. So I hope you enjoyed this. But that's all for today. So have a good day, and Excelsior, onwards and upwards.